Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about one of the most ridiculous products you are ever going to see. This is absolutely absurd, and you are going to be very, very jealous. And if you're not very, very jealous, I am going to want to know why you're not very, very jealous. Now, we start off with a fairly unassuming Pokeball, and I'm like, oh yeah, cool, it's a Pokeball. Yeah. And actually, I'm sorry, but just on the website, it literally says, explanation about the phenomenon of uneven color of Pokeball, and basically, the red hemisphere has an uneven color in some areas. I just love that the Google translation is, explanation about the phenomenon of uneven color of Pokeball. But take a look at this advert, this little banner ad. And we can see that there's a shining Jirachi. Hang on a second. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Because you see, what we've got here is in every Pokeball, you are going to get a random shining Pokemon. Which is absurd, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely absurd. Now, we're going back to Shining Fates. And the good news is here, and actually this is not all, there's also Mewtwo. We'll talk about Mewtwo in a minute. But what we've got here is basically back to Shining Fates. And the good news is, oh, right, okay, let me take a step back. We're over on mainland China. We're talking simplified Chinese. These are the cards that have started being released, and they are basically rushing to catch up. So this is Shining Fates. They have gotten as far as Shining Fates now. There we go, up to speed. And in Shining Fates, there were 6 shining Pokemon, and then there were 3 promos as well, and there are 9 shining Pokemon that can appear in this particular product. And although I can't read this table, sorry, I don't know all the names in simplified Chinese, I do know that there are 9 shining Pokemon available, and there are 9 shining Pokemon that we had, and if you mash them together, ladies and gentlemen, I think we might be getting somewhere. So we got Shining Arceus. Now, some of these have been shown in simplified Chinese, some of them have not. We got Shining Arceus, which prevents all damage done to your bench Pokemon by your opponent's attacks, and for 4 energy does 30 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Nice spreading attack that also protects your bench, but let's be honest, slightly underwhelming. Shining Rayquaza for a single energy does 40 damage and discards the top 2 cards of your deck. Actually pretty good for taking out weak Pokemon. And also, sometimes you want a trash card from your deck. Plus 4 energy, 190 discard free is not terrible. And the last one we've actually got to look at the Chinese version of is Shining Jirachi. For a single psychic energy, you do 10 damage. And if your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolved Pokemon, devolve it by putting all the evolution cards on it into your opponent's hand. So if your opponent's got a fairly big Pokemon that you're about to KO, or at least the basic would, then you use this to do a bit of extra damage, you get rid of the top cards, and the basic is KO'd. Bearing in mind, if you'd evolve like a 2-prize GX, for instance, you're only actually KOing the basic, you only take 1 prize. Now, Shining Mew is a legit card that saw a bunch of play and is very, very good. It's not the single energy 10 damage, obviously. But what we do have is single energy, search your deck for up to 2 energy cards, and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. And yes, it is energy cards. It's not basic energy, it is energy cards. What that means is that you can get special energy or anything else you want here and go and attach it, and you're good to go. This is a very, very, very good thing. I like this card. This is one of the best. Shining Volcanion, 4 energy, 50 damage for each heads you can flip from 4 coins. No. Or 3 water energy, 50 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. It's not terrible, but it is expensive. I think that's fair to say. Now, Shining Genesect is also a very, very nice card, because once during your turn, you may move a grass energy from one of your other Pokemon to this Pokemon. And then it does 50 damage plus 20 more damage for each grass energy attached to this Pokemon. But bearing in mind, we also had the Venusaur that doubled up the grass energy on the field, which means that you attach one, move one over, there's now 4 grass energy on there. See where we're going, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see where we're going? This is a very, very good thing indeed. Now, those are the 6 that were just in Shining Fates for us, but like I've told you, there are 3 promos as well that we should take a little bit of a look at. We've got Shining Ho-Oh. 4 energy, 110 discarded energy from this Pokemon is underwhelming. But if this Pokemon is your active Pokemon and is knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, move up to 2 basic energy from this Pokemon to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. So, sure, it's expensive to get it rolling, and I'm not going to argue against that, incidentally. It is expensive to get it rolling. But when you get it rolling, it's not terrible. It's not too bad. And then it kind of, getting one of them out will fuel the other few, I think it's fair to say. So, not too bad. Now, Shining Lugia, actually sneaky good card, saw a bunch of play. 4 energy, 130 is not great. But 3 energy, 60 damage, but 120 against a Pokemon with an ability, that's actually really good. And that actually saw a bunch of play. Because it's colourless energy, and a lot of Pokemon around have an ability, this was a pretty good colourless attacker. I'm not claiming it was stunning or game-breaking or anything silly like that, because it wasn't. But I absolutely am telling you that this is a decent card with a bunch of potential that saw a bit of play when it was legal. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that seems pretty cool to me. And then Shining Celebi. Now, Shining Celebi's got the ability Time Recall. Each of your evolved Pokemon can use any attack from its previous evolutions. Now, if you want a cool little story here, when the Luxio, specifically the Luxio that can item lock, was revealed, I was backstage at a Pokemon TCG event. It was actually in the European International Championships. I was backstage at the European International Championships when the Luxio was revealed, the one that has Disconnect, the one from Ultra Prism. I was backstage at the EUIC. I was filming a promo. And you know what I did? I immediately went onto eBay and bought a playset of Shining Celebi. Because I thought I could then use a bunch of Luxray, but then be using Disconnect on the Luxio. And I'll tell you now, I never ever played that deck in a tournament. But I'll also tell you that I think I paid £3 each for them. It was some ridiculously low amount of money. And on TCG Player now, they're like $16 cards. So, that's all right. That's not bad. I don't know where mine are, but one day I'll find them. And by that point, they'll probably be worth even more. So those are the Shining Pokemon that are available. You buy this product, you get one of those Shining Pokemon. That's a little bit ridiculous. But it gets better. Now, you also get yourself a 25 card pack, one of the 3 available. Do remember that over in mainland China, there are actually 2 different sizes of booster packs. 25 cards are the bigger one. So you do get 1 pack, but it is a 25 card pack. And then you get yourself a Pokeball Flash card, which is a ridiculously cool looking Pokeball with all kinds of shiny effects. I'm willing to bet that the image we've got doesn't do it justice. Here's the thing, though. It might not be a Pokeball Flash card. It might be a random GX. And the one they've shown us here is Mewtwo GX. And that is crazy. This is a phenomenal card. And sure, it's in simplified Chinese, but tell me this card does not look stunning in simplified Chinese. You'd be wrong, incidentally. This card looks absolutely stunning in simplified Chinese. So that's what we've got here. You will usually, and I don't know what the pull rates are, we're not told, I'm sorry. You will usually get yourself a Flash Pokeball card, which is fine. But there is a chance of getting a Rainbow Rare GX. And oh my goodness, that is absolutely amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, if you get one of these, maybe cross your fingers and hope to be very, very, very lucky. These are obviously being released in mainland China. That is a real pain. It means they are not going to be the easiest product to get hold of. You have my sympathy for that, incidentally. I will cross my fingers for you. I'll be rooting for you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have a great hookup for this, I'm afraid, although if there is anyone over in mainland China who wants to help me pick up a couple of these, I would be absolutely delighted. And if there's any justice in the world, if I get one of these, it's going to be the Celebi, for obvious reasons. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know how jealous you are. I want to know how much you want this product. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and a bunch of other card games and other Pokemon stuff. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel. You can get some bonus podcasts for answer all of your questions. You can join a Discord and chat with us about anything you want to, Pokemon or otherwise. And you can get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Kenneth, who's been a supporter of ours for a little while now, and from everything I can see, seems to be a very lovely person. So thank you very much for the support, and for being a thoroughly lovely person. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.